Hello and welcome to the Greasy Otter Tavern. Today we are going to be doing another live stream of Dragonbane. This is using the solo rules found in the core set, and we are playing through the Light of Evanor. This is a solo campaign that's available on Drive-Thru RPG, and we are just about halfway through. We have recovered two pieces of a magical item called the Staff of Evanor. And now we're going to go after the third. Our hero, as always, is Sir Cornelius Dragon Heart. He has been through Deepfall Breach and now is doing this work for Celesta, the elf scholar. One thing you may notice is different is we are not using alchemy. We are using foundry. There's a couple of reasons for this. One, I finally gave up on alchemy. The best way to sum it up is I love it for what it could be, and I hate it for what it isn't. It's not the one for me. It's easy, it's good, but it's just missing a few of the things that really make this feel like you're sitting at the table and playing, and that's what I wanted. Now, this is on Foundry. We are going to be doing basically a theater of the mind sort of adventure, just like we've been doing on Alchemy, mostly because I'm still learning Foundry, and the learning curve is fairly steep. So I've learned just enough to allow me to do the things that I want to do, and we will take it from there. Now, Sir Cornelius, why don't you kind of fill us in on sort of what's been going on in this campaign?
Yes, so I have so far recovered two pieces from the Staff of Evanor, and I'm now out after the third piece.
Excellent. This is our landing page, the Greasy Otter Tavern. This is something that I think is quite interesting. Let's just give them a quick little tour here. You can click on your name here, Sir Cornelius, and it will pop up your character sheet. And this uses like the same character sheet in the game. I should mention that I purchased the module from Free League so that it has all the bells and whistles that you would find. And we've got everything here that we need. We just click on the skills and you can roll those dice. So that's for Sir Cornelius. We are missing Stubby. Stubby's going to be this bloke down here that I just noticed is missing part of a finger. Maybe that finger is just kind of curled under for some reason, but looks like the finger is supposed to be there and it's not darkened. So yeah, may have to fix that. We can click on the Journal of Sir Cornelius. There's not much in there because we just got this set up enough that we could do this. Party loot, again, I think we've got your playing cards in there. You can click on the map of the Misty Vale and it will take you to that scene so that we can see kind of where we're at in the world here. And the interesting thing with this is I'm not actually sure where we are. I think we're like up over here kind of to the northeast, somewhere up here past the Magna Woods. Frankly, I don't remember. It doesn't really matter. We're just doing this adventure for now. So let us go back to the Greasy Otter Tavern and we will get underway. Let me pull you there. Again, I'm just learning Foundry, so please bear with me as I'm getting everything going here. But I think we're ready to begin. Do you have any questions before we get started, Sir Cornelius?
No, I'm ready to begin.
Okay, so I'm going to show you some art here. So I've got my assets loaded into a journal. Tower of Everfrost. And the nice thing is that you cannot see these things until I send them to you. Okay, so let's get this going. So I'm going to send you a picture. So you should be able to see this.
Indeed I can.
I'm also going to send you some text. Using one of the mods, I can get this to basically narrate on the screen, which should be pretty cool. So let's give this a shot here so we can narrate. And this should also add to your journal. A glittering spire of hoarfrost greets the sky. Below it, a tower that once belonged to a deranged elementalist called Kadya Rhymestorm. To protect her secrets, she locked herself away in her frozen tower for eternity. This is your destination. There is a threat that Celesta warns you about, a very distinct threat that if you tarry, that this may come to pass. Kadya is long dead, but stories say her ghost remains as frosty as she was in life, and when the threat activates, the ghost will attack. Now you are roughly a day away from the Tower of Everfrost, so you're going to need to make some bushcraft rolls to journey there, to see if you can find your way, as well as maybe foraging for food, hunting, fishing, that sort of thing.
Unfortunately, I am not very experienced when it comes to bushcraft.
Yeah, you rolled a 19. Do you want to push that roll, or just...
No, I will just accept my my roll.
So it's going to take you a little bit longer. You're going to arrive there probably at night rather than with some sun left. Do you want to do any hunting or fishing, or have you got a ration that you could eat?
I will just go with a ration. I do have a sizable surplus of gold, so money's not really a problem for me right now.
Very well, very well. Let's go back to the Greasy Otter Tavern here, and we will continue on. So you opt to not eat, or to not hunt. You're merely going to find food along the way, and so be it. You arrive at the tower, and let me pull this up here. Send you another picture and some text. You find the icy door, and I'm going to send you this picture. There we go. Send you a lovely picture. These are all generated on Midjourney. Little AI art. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. We're not making money off of it. It's for personal use. Justify it as you will or not. The door is frozen within a foot of ice. Only great might can shatter it, but some speak of an alternate entrance in the perilous tunnels below.
Well, a feat of strength just happens to be one of my strong suits, and so seeing this door encased in ice, I will simply use, or attempt to use, my strength to remove this obstacle.
Very well.
It seems like I succeeded on my strength roll.
So it's about a foot of ice. Or how do you break through that? How do you use your strength?
Well, I think I will use my magical greatsword to hack away at the ice until I've gotten a sizable chunk out, and then perhaps with my gauntleted hands I will simply punch through the ice and crack it and break it away.
Now there's the possibility that this actually takes you some time to do this. It's, let's say, no, I think we'll ask the dice here. So I should be able to pull up this screen, and I've got the fortune chart. I'm going to make a roll. Are you able to get through this without expending a significant amount of time? And we look at the dice roller, and we've got the answer is yes. So you're able to get through that without expending a significant amount of time. So that will not advance the threat tracker. It is quite loud, and perhaps you alert anyone that may be nearby. We shall see what happens. Continuing on. We get to the next room. Again, I'm having some issues here, but we'll get it. There we go. Lovely picture there. A group of goblin scouts have made this floor their hideout. Their leader probably fears the orcs of the Blood Oath clan have finally sniffed them out. And I'll just send that to your journal. I'm going to say because you pounded through that door, you're going to have to make like a sneaking roll with a bane to see if somehow you were able to do it quietly enough that you didn't alert them by just pounding all that ice down at the door. So that failed. Do you want to push that roll or take the consequence?
I will take the consequence. I have 3 banes if you add the extra one, and so I will not attempt that again.
Right, because you would have had your regular roll plus a bane for your armor plus a bane because you took an additional bane. So we are going to go to the battle map. So let me activate this. I'm going to pull out some tokens, and we're going to have us a good old-fashioned battle. So you should be able to see yourself on the battle map, if I'm not mistaken.
Indeed, I can.
Alright, let me pull some tokens out here. One moment here. Couple of guys here. Couple of guys there. And then one guy in particular that's kind of troublesome. Oh, I think we are missing a guy. You know what? This is plenty. Okay. Up ahead, you see 3 kind of lesser goblins standing about. They heard the sound on the door, and kind of behind them stands like their sergeant at arms. He is the goblin strategist. Hint, hint, we're going to employ one of the optional rules for combat. This strategist he's a little bit of a smarter fighter. I'm not going to have everyone do these rules because we're just kind of breaking these rules in, but he might be a little devious in his attacks. So I think this is going to devolve into a battle. You were not able to sneak ahead of them, so let's get a battle going. I'm just going to switch over to the combat screen.
They are but lesser goblins. I'm sure they will run when they have tasted my fury and my might.
If you have access to the little combat screen, go ahead and draw your initiative card. I actually need to make a duplicate for you because you have a special heroic ability. So let me make a duplicate combatant. So now you're up there twice. Okay, and you're going to get to go take your 2 actions first. I don't think this put my strategist on here. Well, we'll just go ahead and start. This is ample. Okay, so as we begin combat, you are up first on the combat tracker, so you'll want to select who you're going to attack, and then you can target them, and then make your attack. And I believe you can right-click to target them. And we're getting some slowdown here. So that's going to be a hit. This goblin is going to try to evade. I think he has to. So let's get his sheet up here. And he is going to evade. He needs a success. He evades, so he manages to avoid your mighty swing. I believe I can mark that he has used his action. Actually, I'm not sure. I'll just remember he's used his action. He was initiative when it comes to him. Okay, so we go to your next turn.
Little does this goblin know, I will simply slash him again with renewed fury.
And he cannot evade and cannot parry. And you fail. Do you want to push the roll?
Yes, I will become angry and push the roll.
Now that's going to give you a bane on like your attacks and stuff. You're okay with that?
Yes, I'm okay with that. Intelligence will not give me a bane on attacks.
Oh, you said angry. I thought you said
Yes.
exhausted. I'm sorry. Yep. So that succeeds. Go ahead and roll damage. I don't think you were targeting that goblin still. Oh, you know, because I think it made you. It thinks you're another character. But you know what? That was enough to wipe him out. So let's go ahead and we'll just take his hit points. He took 11 damage. He's got 9 hit points. He's down to 0. This goblin is dead. I'll give him the status effect of being dead. Right there. He's dead. Very well. We go to goblin number 6. He is... nope, not him. Him! He is going to move up. And he will attack. I need to make you the target. Yeah, I don't know why we're having such a slowdown here. This is kind of irritating. Alright, let's see if I can pull this up here. Oh, I got it right here. There's his short sword. And you have used your action, so you cannot evade or dodge. But I believe that is a miss. So much for his turn. We go to the next goblin. This is the strategist. So the strategist, he's a little bit smarter, and he's going to work his way around into a flanking position. And now he is going to attack you, being a little bit smarter than most. Is it going to come up here? Oh, I need to target you. That would probably help. Okay. And there we go. He will attack. He's going to do a stab. So a stab means that he will try to bypass your armor with his short sword because it's a piercing weapon. In doing so, he gets a bane. But I'm going to take that bane away because you're being flanked. And so he's going to be a little extra sneaky, so it'll just be a regular slash. But for all intents and purposes, it's a stab, because I don't want to have to go through and figure out how to add a... or actually, I guess it would do it here. So well, we'll play with this another time. He will attack you with his sword, and this will bypass your armor if he hits. And that is a success, so this will... no armor on this guy, or on you for this one. And you take maximum, so you take 10 damage.
If I get hit again, I will have to use my calling stone.
Yeah, so you may want to take out that strategist. And we'll go to that goblin's dead. He can do nothing, so we'll go to the next goblin. And he will come up. And he will target you. And he will attack. That looks like that is not a success. That's a failure. So now we will reshuffle the initiative. And you get to go first. First and last.
Well, I will target the strategist, and now he's no longer flanking, so he will no longer get his boon removed.
That, I believe, is a hit. He will try to evade, because he's or does he parry? I think he might... I think he would dodge. That is no. So go ahead and give him the damage, and you may be able to take him out, which would be good for you. Yeah, that's going to take him out. 16 damage. He will take every bit of it. So let's knock his hit points down here to 0. Or do minus 16, just for fun. And then let me change his status to dead. Very good. He's dead. There's no death saving throws. There's no death saving throws. I know I can take them out of the initiative somehow. I guess I can actually make them invisible, so they're not in the way. Alright, this guy should have you still targeted. Oh, he does now. He will attack with his sword. That is a miss. You don't even need to try to evade that one. Then the last goblin, he will likewise attack you with his sword. And looks like you're still targeted, so. Let's see what we get on here. That is going to be narrowly. That's a failure. So now it is your turn. The odds are in your favor. You got 2 goblins on you.
Yes, I will ready my great sword and slash one of them. I rolled a demon, so I will get to check that box.
Yep, so it should do it automatically. Do you have the option to click on that little mishap melee button?
Yes, I can.
Go ahead and click on that, and we'll see what happens. You toss your weapon a few meters away. So go ahead and... oops, I think I forgot to make it your turn. Go ahead and roll to see how many meters away you click on that button. Five meters away. So that's within your movement, but it will take a move and an action to get your weapon. I believe you have an alternate weapon, or you could shield bash. You'd have to draw those out. But yeah, let's say your weapon, if each square is 2 meters, we'll say your weapon goes flying, maybe over here somewhere. I think did that ping the map? Like, did you see a little flash there? All right, let's reshuffle initiative here. And I will draw for the goblins. If you want to draw your own initiative, you can. All right, dead goblin can't go. Dead goblin can't go. This goblin will attack you with the sword. And so you just would not be able to parry, but you could evade if you had to. So far, I think only one of them has hit you, is that correct?
Yes, so far I've only been hit once.
Well, it wasn't that guy. He missed again. This other one, seeing your sword go flying, he's going to snarl and slash, trying to slide the blade into your kneecap and try to cripple you. Again, that's just flavor. That's not anything specific that's going to happen. And he, likewise, fails. And we go to your turn. So you're going to have to, if you're going to move away from these guys to get your sword, you're really only moving away from this guy over here. To move away from him, you'll need to make an evade roll. Otherwise, he'll get a free attack. It's not like he's going to hit you anyway.
Well, I will move away from him.
Do you want to take a condition or just let him?
He can hit me. I will let him have an attack.
All right. Well, he will do so then. He will have at you with his short sword. He hasn't hit you yet, so I'm not expecting he's going to hit you now. Is it going to let me roll that? Oh. Well, that's just silly. I guess I have to target you again because it was done out of combat. So let's do that again. Well, this time he hits. You can try to evade that or just take the hit.
I will just take the hit. I would like to be able to attack with my turn.
He rolls damage. It does 5, which your armor soaks up 8 of that, so you take no damage. So you can continue to move, use your action to pick up your sword. Now it's your second action. You have your sword. You can engage. That's a hit, and they cannot defend. I assume this is the one that you're attacking.
Yes.
So he is likewise dead. He takes 13 points of damage. Change his status to dead. It's probably a moot point because there's only one bad guy left, so I don't know that it's that important. But now we will reshuffle the initiative. And you can go ahead and draw for yourself if you like. Alright, you get to go twice and then the goblin. So,
well, I will prepare my first attack and attempt to slash this goblin. It looks like that did succeed. Will he be dodging or parrying?
Let's say he will. I think he would probably try to evade. Well, no, we'll say he'll parry. Why not? That'll be fun. This is gonna let me do it. I may just need to pull up his chart. Yeah, let me pull up his chart. I'm not sure that we need all this combat stuff for this game. It seems like it's slowing it down rather than helping. There's a parry right there. Oh well, so he gets a dragon. So not only does he parry, but you're going to have a bane on your next attack because it was such a fancy parry. He dodged to the side, exposing a weak spot in your defense. So your second turn you can attack again, but it will be with bane.
Oh, I don't believe it applied to bane, so let me roll it a second time. I rolled another demon, so...
Well, I'd say check the box, but you already have. Go ahead and roll a mishap. So I'm not a fan of doing damage to yourself. I think instead you drop your weapon. I think it'd be better. And so it's going to take an action to pick it up. So this little guy is going to short sword you. And that's going to be a miss. So we will reshuffle the initiative. And Goblin, no, you go first. So you can use your action to pick up your weapon. Then it's going to be the Goblin's turn. He'll attack, and then you will hopefully take him out. So let me just get to the Goblin. And we will make this happen. There we go. And that's a miss. So now it's your turn. That is a hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
So he attempts to dodge my blow, but as he is moving away, I skewer him, and he lets out a little squeal and then falls limp to the floor.
Excellent. And I'm not going to go ahead and go to all the trouble of making him dead, but he's dead, along with his little goblin allies. The room is clear. You have the opportunity, if you want to do a quick rummage around the bodies, that would be a scavenge roll, or you can go or you can spend time to actually search the room. So we'll come off of the battle map.
Well, I'm going to need to rest and regain some hit points.
So you can do a round rest, which only regains willpower. You can do a stretch rest, which will take about 15-20 minutes, and you will regain, in the solo mode, 2d6 hit points, 1d6 willpower, and remove a condition.
I will do that. Okay.
So that will advance the tracker 1 point, and when it gets to 6 is when that ghost will attack. Are we able to add your hit points? Oh, there you go. So 5. So you got half of what you had lost. And I don't believe... Did you spend any willpower?
No, I did not.
So in that encounter, you have a heroic action to do a double slash. That may have been a good opportunity to use that double slash in those goblins when you were surrounded, just as a... I didn't even think about it till just now, but...
However, if I apply one of my bandages, does that give me more healing?
So technically what the bandage does, I think it removes a bane if someone else is healing you, and allows you to heal more. I'm going to say... Is
there a solo rule for that?
There's not, but let me have you make like a medicine check, and if you succeed, I'll say you can heal yourself a little, because I like that idea.
I am not able to heal myself.
Well, darn it. But you know, you tried. That's what matters. Do you want to search their bodies really quickly?
Yes, I will look over the goblins and see if they have anything of value before I leave this room.
Alright, I should have the scavenge table up here. Here we are. Let's roll and see what we get. Interesting item, a strange device. I'm going to say that this is some sort of key. It looks like some sort of crude goblin key. It's carved out of a piece of pelvic bone of some wolf or bear, something that they've eaten. But it looks like it probably unlocks some sort of chest or door. So you find this interesting key.
Well, I will pocket that and then try and find a way out of this chamber, my way forward.
Very well. Give me an awareness roll as you do this.
I do succeed on that.
Okay. You smell cooking meat ahead, and you follow your nose until you stumble upon the kitchens. Let me send you the picture, and I will send this.
Or no, excuse me, sorry, I do not succeed. I was looking at my acrobatics, which is a 13. My awareness is a 12, so I actually did fail that roll.
Oh, well, then you still smell the scent of cooking flesh. The scent of roasting meat fills an oppressively warm kitchen. The heat of the hearth is sweltering, yet the ice clinging to every surface refuses to yield. And let me send this to you. We'll narrate. That will show you on your screen as well as put it into your journal. So you see this kitchen, and now these, just for my curiosity, these pictures stay on your screen until you close them. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll leave this up for the viewers at home. So you've got this huge kitchen. It is unoccupied, but there's a giant spit of meat that looks like it has. Well, it's supposed to be over the fire, but AI being what it is, it's kind of. Let's say it's swinging like a pendulum. So it kind of swings over the fire, gets a little heat, and then it's dripping fat and juices all over the floor in its path that it is swinging. But this is some sort of goblin delight that they are cooking up. And you can't help but notice that looks like the hips and legs of some sort of humanoid creature that is swinging on this pendulum-like spit.
Wanting nothing to do with this, I will attempt to make my way through this area as quickly as possible.
Seeing that this is probably the lower half of some sort of human, possibly, I'm going to have you make a Constitution roll to see if you can keep your lunch down, not become sickly.
I do succeed on my Constitution roll.
So you've eaten some pretty nasty stuff in your life, some trail rations, maybe some old antelope jerky that was made 5 or 6 years ago, and you mistook it for something fresh and ate it, and then spent the rest of the night heaving your guts out both ends. That could happen to a person. But you managed to get through the kitchens without making yourself ill. You come upon the Hall of Mirrors. Let me send you this picture. Come on. There we go. So I can get this text up here for you. The mirror-like surfaces of the icy passageways confuse and disorient you. This seems to be intentional, to keep out those who would disturb Kadya's studies. You aren't positive, but the raspy breath of a guardian echoes throughout the passages. What do you do?
Hearing the present danger, I will proceed cautiously.
Give me a sneaking roll.
I do not succeed.
As you are trying to find your way, your feet are scuffing and scraping along the icy surfaces, no matter how much you try to avoid making sound. You've got exhausted checked.
No, it just allows you to. It has one filled in.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay, so you're not.
I am not exhausted.
Do you want to push this roll?
No, I have a bane on it due to my armor, so I won't.
Okay.
Push this.
Give me a myths and legends roll. As you traverse these passageways, here and there you find statuary. Perhaps a goblin crouched with a spear, perhaps another statue of a young maiden carrying a tray of food and a goblet of wine. As you pass more of these, you notice that they are not posed the way that most statues will be posed. But many of them are in a very dynamic sort of pose. Almost as though they look like they were once alive. In fact, you are all but certain that these statues were once people like you. Not merely carved from stone, but flesh becoming stone. And at making this realization, you know that there is a foe in these passages that could do this to you.
Well, with this in mind, I will pull my cloak ever tighter about me and stave off the cold while I try and make haste through these passageways. And if I do come upon this beast, I will do my best to avoid its gaze and dispatch it before it can turn me into some icy monstrosity.
Let's do maybe an awareness roll.
I do not succeed.
And for the best, I was about to say you have a bane on that, but I forgot you already have one, I think because of your great helm. So you failed to notice any telltale signs of something passing nearby. But the raspy breathing that you hear seems to be getting louder. Perhaps it's getting closer. And as you look up ahead, you become disoriented which way to go. These mirrored surfaces make it seem like you have been through this passage many times before, and yet it seems new. And then you begin to pass statues that you have seen before, and you know that you are going in circles. But yet that voice, or that breathing, that raspy breath, continues to loom in the stillness of these mirrored halls. I'm going to have you give me a fear roll, which is a willpower roll.
I succeed on my will roll.
So you do not become scared, which is what would have happened, but you know that there is a foe about. Do you have your sword drawn?
I would assume I have my sword in one hand, perhaps a torch in the other.
So it is a two-handed sword. In order to swing it, you would have to probably drop the torch.
I would drop my torch if I encounter danger.
As you come around a bend, you see up ahead of you the way out. The mirrored surfaces no longer seem to be in the way. Let me just ask the fortune die something. Is this truly the way out, or is it an illusion? It is not the way out. So, but you think that it perhaps is, and as you pace towards it, you realize too late that it is but a reflected surface of a hidden alcove not far from there. As you turn to go out that way, you come face to face with the guardian of these halls. I'm going to take us to the battle map again. I believe that will take you there, and your token should be there.
Yes, my token is there.
Let me bring in the guardian of the halls. And it's actually behind you. It is quite large, quite fearsome. Let's see if I can bring up some artwork here. Well, I don't think I can actually... Yep. Well, no, that's going to bring up the token maker. Anyway, it's a basilisk. You've not seen one of these before, but you've probably heard of them. Here's the description. That's what I'm looking for. The basilisk is a feared, semi-intelligent predator with an unpleasant tendency to appear near villages and other settlements, sometimes even in city catacombs. It is a terrifying abomination with a reptilian body, a rooster's head, and huge, murderous claws. On top of that, it is endowed with poisonous breath and a gaze that can turn its victims to stone. Humans are its main prey, but a hungry basilisk may also feed on dwarves and halflings. It is a formidable opponent in combat, and the bane of many an ambitious knight. Let's bring us into the combat tracker, or we can do the, well, if we want to draw initiative, I think we have to do that. So let's bring us into combat. That one right there. Okay, I'm going to draw for the NPCs. You can draw your. Let me add an extra duplicate for you. In fact, I need to see if the basilisk has ferocity. So let me duplicate that. Because if he does, I'm going to have to duplicate him.
It looks like it is ferocity too.
Oh yes, up there at the top. I see it. So I'm going to make another token so that he can have 2 initiatives. So we will duplicate the combatant. Okay, and then let me draw for him as well. Let me redraw the other. There we go. And we will begin combat. So this is a monster. Monsters always hit, but you can choose to evade. You cannot parry. Oh, let's see. I need to select you as the target, I believe. Where are you? There you are. And he will move up and make his monster attack. Slash attack. The basilisk slashes its terrible claws at 2 characters within 4 meters of each other, but there's only one. Each attack inflicts damage. Do you want to try to evade this, or do you take the blow?
I will attempt to evade this, or I guess I cannot parry it.
You cannot parry. No.
Well, in that case, I think I will just allow it to hit me.
Famous last words. It will deal 13 points of damage. You will take 5. And if you don't think you can best this foe...
Well, I am going to run away on my turn.
Okay, so it is now your turn. So you will need to make an evade roll to try and run away.
I do not succeed on my evade roll, unfortunately.
Well, that's unfortunate. Let me just check this really quickly. I always forget where the step is. Oh yeah, so if you're standing within 2 meters of an enemy and then voluntarily move away, you must make an evade roll. It does not count as an action, but if it fails, the enemy immediately gets to perform an additional melee attack against you, a free attack. The free attack does not count as an action, can neither be parried nor dodged. A monster that gets a free attack performs a monster attack, which may affect other characters. Okay. So, moving away doesn't... Whoops. I need to select the basilisk. Not you. Not that. Alright, so the monster will get a free attack. Oh, a whip attack. The basilisk uses its snake-like tail as a whip in a sweeping arc against all adventurers. Each attack inflicts bludgeoning damage, and if you're hit, you're knocked down. And you cannot dodge this, because it's a free attack. But then you do get to move away. So hopefully this does not do a ton of damage. And so you take 2 points of damage after your armor soaks up the rest. But now you can run. Run for the hills. You're making a mad dash for the exit, I would assume.
Yes.
Give me an agility roll.
I get a dragon on my agility roll.
Oh, excellent. So that will check the box.
Agility is a skill, or not a skill, rather, but
A stat, right?
stat,
Right,
yes.
correct. So you don't get to check the box, but because you rolled it, I was going to have this be kind of a chase, kind of a long, drawn-out thing. I'm going to say as you as you run screaming from the basilisk, you manage to get outside of these mirrored halls, and it would seem as though the basilisk is trapped and cannot pursue you. Once you get into the next room, the basilisk merely glares at you with horrible fumes of poison gas, and its gaze trying to freeze you into stone. But you're doing your best to avoid looking directly at his eyes, and because of that agility roll, you manage to avoid being turned into a statue, just like all the rest.
I would hardly say running screaming. In fact, as I'm now out of his reach, I am going to make a knight's oath that I will come back and slay him when I have fully healed.
Bold words for one who ran at the first sight of it. No, this is actually, I believe this is the first battle that you have run from. One of the things with Dragonbane is a lot of times you run because the foe is beyond your skills.
And I was badly damaged.
You were
going into
already
this fight.
damaged, and this guy rolled max damage on his first attack, and that was rough. But you managed to get away from there and escape with your life. When I set this up, I actually thought that you would run from this, and I'm glad that you did, because it could have been quite bad. Let us go back to the Greasy Otter Tavern screen, and we'll go to the next room. So there is no shame in living to fight another day.
And of course I do have my oath now that I will return and slay that basilisk.
You do. Okay. You make your way to Myrtle's lab. Let me send you the artwork here. And then I will send you the text so that it's in your journal. A plucky halfling woman in a long overcoat is said to still carry out her fire experiments here. She will make a deal to let you buy if you get her some foul ingredients for her strange potion. Or is it a weapon? So let's do a little role play here. Ah, yes, welcome to Myrtle's lab, she says, her old halfling voice echoing across the stone rooms rhymed with frost of this tower. I see you made it past the basilisk. He is quite formidable.
Hardly for a honorable knight such as myself. I have a quest that I am intent on completing.
And what is this quest?
I've come to reclaim one of the shards of the Staff of Evanor.
Ah, well, many have come, and all have failed. But I will let you proceed on your quest if you will but do me a favor and procure for me something behind that curtain. And she points to a curtain in the wall. It's but a rotted piece of cloth and strips of leather holding it up on a rope. You see, I am forbidden to go behind that curtain by the master of the tower. But you do not have such difficulties in obtaining these items. So please, won't you do this for me?
If I do this for you, will you allow me to rest here and gain supplies?
Give me a persuasion roll.
Naturally, I do not succeed.
You can rest once the deed is done. But just do not disturb my studies. Do you want to push that roll?
No, I will not push that.
No. Or do you want to spend willpower on that one?
Perhaps I will. I will use my ability and I will re-roll that. I do have a 10, so it should be a 50-50.
Yeah. And if you use a reroll, it goes up because it's, double the likelihood. It's not like a 15, but you have maybe a 60% chance of getting it.
Naturally, I fail again.
And you can remove that exhausted and just reduce your willpower.
So I am not exhausted. It automatically fills in a dot, I believe.
Yeah, but you should be able to take that off and then just reduce your willpower points, if that's what you were doing.
Yes.
Perfect. So she's like, well, are you going to do it or not?
I will retrieve these things for you, but in return I do expect rest when I return.
We will see about that. She cackles. You can't help but wonder if she is sending you to your doom. Let's ask the fortune die a few things here. Is there great danger behind the curtain? Yes. Is it imminent danger? Extreme, no. So it's not imminent danger. So it's not like you're going to open it up and a fireball is going to blast you in the face. But there's something in there that's going to prove quite difficult. How do you proceed?
I will proceed cautiously and do my best to quickly find the items that this halfling requires, as I am bound by honor to assist those who need my service. So.
Very well. Let's ask another. Actually, I think I know what it's going to be. Okay, so in the next room, you open the curtain, and there is a small wooden trunk banded with iron. It looks as though it's been untouched for decades, covered in dust, rust, and grime. It appears to be locked.
I will bash the lock with my greatsword.
Okay. You will have a double bane on this. You still have a pretty good chance of getting it. Well, except for the demon that you rolled. Okay.
I've rolled 3 demons on my sword now.
Well, hopefully you'll raise that up at the end here if you survive. You don't need to roll the mishap on there. As you strike it, you sense that there is some sort of ward in place. And it's not just merely a chest, but perhaps it is some sort of illusion. You were unprepared for just how difficult that was going to be. I'm going to have you give yourself a condition, maybe the disheartened condition, as you find that your mighty sword simply will not hew through this material. That is perhaps the greatest tool you have, but maybe you have something else.
Yes, I will attempt to use the goblin key to open this chest.
Excellent. You find that the key fits quite easily. And as you turn the lock, the key actually crumbles into powder, but the lock opens. You raise the lid, and inside you find that this is filled with 2 gallons of terrible, sludgy muck and slime, as though this has been a large chamber pot for a diuretic orc, and he had just eaten a week's worth of curry. But there's something in the bottom. You can kind of see it poking out. You know you're going to have to stick your hand in there to pull it out.
I do have a gauntleted hand, so I will pull out this item.
You are encountering a disease. This is the the kind of the latent threat. It wasn't an imminent threat, but here it is. So with a disease, it has like a virulence number, and I'm going to say that this one is a 15. So you need to make a Constitution roll, and I'm going to make a roll for the disease.
Do I get a boon because I do have a gauntlet?
I will say because of the gauntlet, you can have a boon on this, and so the poop here. Wow, so the poop rolled a demon. So, yeah, so you succeed. So you needed to beat the poop score, and he got a demon. So turns out whatever bacteria was in here is long since dormant. So you do not contract the disease, but it was going to be something that would, cause you to have a hard time getting rid of a condition. So, but didn't matter because you rolled well and the disease rolled poorly. So you managed to obtain the item. It is a small glass vial that looks like it has 3 pieces of saffron in the bottom. And as you wipe the muck off, it looks like you risked all of this just for 3 little filaments of saffron. Oh, give me that, quickly! And she holds out her hand, not daring to move her hand past the curtain that you slid aside.
I will first ask her what my reward is for retrieving this for her.
Oh, I will let you live. What else do you want, you ingrateful fool?
I wish for rest, and perhaps some sort of reward for my troubles.
Rest you shall have. Let's see, does she offer a reward? Let's do the... so you can take a stretch rest if you like. And I'm going to ask the fortune die if she offers any sort of reward. She... Nope. The best I can give you is a taste of the potion, and she kind of does potion in air quotes, potion that I'm brewing up. I just needed that saffron to add a little color.
What is it that your potion does?
It makes one feel very different. It makes one feel taller than they once were.
So can I make an insight roll to see if, or myths and legends to see if I understand her riddles?
You can either do a myths and legends or do a medicine roll.
I will do myths and legends. And do not succeed. I will pass on the potion and simply rest.
Ah, 'tis a pity. More for me. And she continues to stir her little brew and pays you no more mind as you rest. So you may recover a condition, you may recover 2d6 hit points and 1d6 willpower points, and the threat tracker will advance.
Well, I will get 5 hit points and 1 will point.
Well,
Willpower point.
that's not great. Where are you sitting hit point wise?
I should have, if I'm correct, 9 hit points.
Okay. Well, could be worse.
Yes, I'm not sure. I think these Foundry dice are worse than the Alchemy dice.
No, I don't know if that's possible. You have only rolled a couple of demons. So, do you move on?
Yes, I will move on.
So after your rest, she doesn't offer you anything to clean your gauntlet, so you've just got this sludge on your gauntlet, of course.
If I find out she was up to any evil, I will slay her on my way back.
Well, you're making a long list of enemies here.
I can't allow evil to reside. I must destroy it if I encounter it.
Alright, let me get this up here for you. You should be able to see that picture. Let me narrate the text. Thousands of pages filled with hundreds of thousands of words. Words of creation. Words of destruction. Many great and terrible secrets lie within these walls. You have found the knowledge of the wizardess, her library.
Do I see the shard of this staff I am after?
Are you spending time to search, or merely just taking a quick glance?
I will spend time to search, as this is the object of my quest.
Yeah, make a spot hidden roll, and that will advance the tracker again.
I do succeed on that.
So you do not find the staff, and you recall from Celesta's words that the staff should be here, and surely she would keep it somewhere safe. You spend time, looking in the desk and in the drawers and along the shelves, and you find various trophies and sundries and thousands upon thousands of books and scrolls and other important documents. In your searches, you do get a chance to roll on the search table, so let's get that up here for you. And you find hidden treasure. Let's roll on the treasure table. Well, that's pretty crappy. I'm going to give you another roll. You find 8 gold coins. You may add that to your character sheet.
Well, I believe I get to roll that, do I? Oh, yes, I see. So, 2d6 gold coins, and it was an 8.
Yep, so I think it pre-rolled that for you. Let me try something. I think I've got a macro to pull a treasure card. Let's see if this is any different. Oh, well, okay. You find a chalice. This chalice is worth... you could roll 2d6, and we'll times it by 5, and that's how many gold you find.
That would be a 5.
So you find 25 gold. Well, let me edit this. 25. I'm hoping that didn't just change the card. But what I'm going to do is, I believe I can open up your character sheet and just drag it into your sheet. So I think I can just pull the chalice onto your sheet. Did you already add the coins?
No, I did not.
So do you know how many coins you have?
I believe I have 245 or thereabouts.
So let's see, did it add the chalice?
It looks like it did add the chalice.
Nice. I don't see it on there, but if you see it, let me see if I can add the... Oh, right there where it says chalice, I see it. So it did not add the gold, just the item.
I will add that manually.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll have to see if that, hopefully that didn't change the chalice for good. Anyway, you find a very valuable chalice, and you find some gold coins. If you were a wizard, you could spend days here, but you do not find that piece of the staff. You know that if this is her library, her personal quarters must be nearby. Let's just ask the fortune die, is there anything potentially hazardous in here? No. So you were able to make a search. There are no foes, no traps. I think that the basilisk is basically the guardian of these private laboratories and quarters, and so I don't think that she is necessarily worried about that. Do you want to continue on to the last?
I will continue on.
We head to the last room. Kadya's quarters. And you recall the words of Celesta. As she relates to you what you could expect to find in Kadya's quarters. And that should send you the picture as well. And she says, I've heard Rhymestorm is deep within a frost wall, still clutching part of the Staff of Evanor, but she guards her secrets well with icy arcane tricks and traps. And inside this chamber you see this icy wall, And inside, frozen in the ice, you see Kadya Rhymestorm, the elementalist, frozen in this keep, perhaps preserving her life or giving her life to maintain the powerful magics within. I know the picture looks like there's a hole there, but it's not. It's solid. She's stuck in the wall.
And she does have the staff?
She does. You can see it in her hand. You can see she's clutching part of the Staff of Evanor.
Well, I will first take the time to observe the scene and see if I can't find any wards or traps that might cause me harm.
You're going to spend about 15 minutes looking for those wards and traps?
I will do that.
Give me a spot hidden.
I rolled a critical, a dragon.
Okay, so there are indeed wards and traps, and you see several of them. There's a line of faintly visible runes etched on the floor at the base of the wall that if anyone were to approach would likely trigger those warding runes. You also see that the ceiling looks as though it is also an illusion, and peering through that, you notice that the smoke from your torch seems to go right through the very surface. There is something up above there that could possibly fall upon you or be released if those wards were disturbed.
If I back away and then toss a sack of something atop these wards to set them off, while I am standing a safe distance away from them.
You toss your sack at the wards, and upon it, do you hit the wall or like the wards themselves?
Well, I'm going to attempt to throw this on the wards and then run away as far as possible.
Running as your usual tactic. Give me an agility roll.
Not running, simply stepping back.
Tactically
to
retreating.
Exactly. Sorry, that was an agility roll?
Yes, agility.
I believe that is a success. Barely.
Ooh, that looked like that was cocked on a demon for a minute there. That is a success. You toss your sack against the where the wall and the wards meet, and a shower of magical hailstorm pours out of the ceiling, pounding into oblivion that sack. Now, was this the sack that had your playing cards in it?
No, just some miscellaneous items that I care little for.
So probably like Illyrium Stormbane's personal effects.
Possibly, although I kept those safe. I treasure those.
Did you? Because it sure seems like you just forgot all about him.
Of course I did. I took the time to even bury him in the breach.
So yeah, we actually went back and checked, and you did actually bury him. So I gave you a bit of a hard time for that, but no, you did right by Illyrium, even though you never sent a message to his family or anything, or vowed to avenge his death. Or,
actually, I believe I did.
You did actually, yeah. But you
sword.
didn't like plant a garden or anything or a tree in memory of him. But it's a little late now. Anyway, had you been where your sack was, you would have been pulverized by that falling hail, and that it leaves a pile on the ground, and then almost in the blink of an eye, it vanishes.
Well, testing to make sure the ward will not be reactivated, I'll poke my sword out onto the ground to ensure that the hailstorm does not fall, and then I will approach the wall if it is safe.
Let's ask the fortune die a question. Did the trap reset? Yes, it reset. You're poking the wall with your sword?
I'm going to stay out of the radius of this blast, but yes, I'm poking with my sword. It is a long sword, and it is enchanted, so I wouldn't worry about it being damaged by magic. But
and you're anticipating that the hail is going to fall again. As you hear the rumble above and the whooshing of air as the hail begins to fall, you may try to make some sort of acrobatic roll out of danger. You'll need to make a acrobatics roll
with
to get
a
away from danger.
A boon.
I will give you a boon because you were prepared. You were anticipating this.
Luckily, that makes it a straight roll, and I get an 8.
Excellent. So you managed to get out of the way. And let me just check the fortune chart. Let me tell you what I'm rolling here. Excellent. So, that has happened. Now what do you do? So twice the hail has fallen.
Well, this time I will test it from a safe distance, and if it does not activate, I will approach the wall.
What do you test it with?
I'm sure I retrieved my bag.
Your bag was pulverized. There was just scraps, and there was a picture of Illyrium Stormbane that was just utterly destroyed.
Well, then I will perhaps take my extra sword that I carry in case I'm disarmed and just toss that over there to see if it activates the ward.
You toss your sword and it clatters with a clang against the icy wall and drops down to the wards, and nothing happens. You hear a rumble up above, almost like an ice machine kind of dumping out more ice, trying to refill it, but it seems as though it is not ready to go yet again. You maybe have a few moments before this happens.
Well, I will quickly approach this wall and attempt with my torch to melt it while I hack at it with my sword and punch at it with my gauntleted fist.
I'm going to ask the fortune die for a number for how many rounds, we'll say, until it resets, and you don't necessarily know this. Okay, perfect. Alright, so go ahead and make an attack roll with your sword, I suppose.
I do succeed.
Go ahead and roll some damage here as you begin chipping away at the ice.
I can expend my some willpower and use my ability to attack it a second time on the same turn.
Okay. Your double slash?
Yes.
So in which case the hit, you should have spent that before you roll the hit, because then the hit would, you roll it once and it affects both people, but then you roll damage separately.
Well, I get 2 attacks from my army of 1, so I'm meaning I'm going to use it.
Oh, I got you. Yes, go ahead.
Next attack.
So then you would spend the will points, make one roll. If it succeeds, just roll and we can either double the damage or you can just manually roll the dice.
It looks like I accidentally rolled my swords twice. I did succeed, though.
Okay.
Looks like that will be another 25 damage on top of my 11. So that will be, 37 damage?
Yes. You have made significant headway into the wall. Let me just, as you continue to hack at it with your torch held high, let me just check something here. Okay. You continue to hack at it?
Yes.
Go ahead and make another roll with your sword.
I roll a critical.
Excellent. With the critical, you manage to punch through. You do your double weapon damage. As long as you can do 22 points of damage, will be in business.
I did 32.
Excellent. You punch through and find her body there. Her back is to you, and in her right arm, which is kind of raised and extended, you see the piece of the staff.
Well, calling on all of my honor and courage, I will retrieve the piece of this staff, knowing that perhaps my chivalry shall keep me safe.
Let me ask, does she awaken? No. I think this is owing to the intent of your heart. You are not robbing her, you are merely saving the land.
Although I do have her chalice and gold in my backpack.
And so you did rob her. Oh, good point.
But that was simply found
finders
loot.
keepers.
Yes.
You managed to get the piece of the staff from her hands, and you can feel that there is indeed body heat coming from her. She is very much alive behind the wall, but she does not awaken. Despite the pounding, despite the wards going off, it is almost as though she is willing to give you this piece of the shard, or of the staff. Perhaps she has she is not evil-hearted, merely misunderstood, and desires that you should have this. With the piece of the staff in hand, you manage to flee the Tower of Everfrost and return back to Celesta with the piece in hand. You make it back to Celesta, eventually back to the Greasy Otter Tavern. Actually, maybe not the Greasy Otter Tavern, just back to Celesta. But from here, you may make some experience rolls. So, if you look on your chart, you should have some checks in some of the boxes.
My
your
spot
skills.
hidden does improve.
Excellent.
My swords, however, does not.
Well, then you get to choose 5 more skills to try and improve, just not spot hidden or swords. I was going to have you check the other 5 skills before you started rolling them, but that's okay.
I can check another 5.
Just don't check the 2 that you've just rolled. And again, this is the solo rules experience system, which is different from the normal rules, where there would be a questionnaire, and however many yeses you answer on the questionnaire is how many
My
advancement rolls
awareness
you get.
does improve.
Oh, excellent.
My Beast Lord does not.
Evade would be nice.
No, unfortunately. My healing does improve.
Good.
And then my sneaking does improve to 8.
Excellent. So that's quite a few improvements. The changes are already made to your character sheet, and that will conclude this adventure. In between adventures, you are welcome to go to like the party loot. You could put your chalice there. You could go to the Journal of Sir Cornelius and enter whatever you would like. I mentioned, this will appear in your journal. That just meant the chat bar, not your actual journal. So you can go ahead and that's for you to put whatever you would like in there. But this is the end of the Tower of Everfrost, and this was our first time using Foundry. There's a few little hiccups there. We're going to have to do maybe a practice session of combat, just see if we can't speed it up. We've got something slowing this down. It could be the music in the background. I don't know. But maybe we can turn off a few things, see if we can get this going a little better. So I want to thank everyone for watching. I hope that you're enjoying this content. Please stick around. We're going to have more adventures of Sir Cornelius as he tries to recover the 4th and final piece of the Staff of Evanor, and then to go and destroy the Dread Eye would be the last mission. So 2 more missions in this campaign. And then at that point, Stubby will possibly be joining us, and we may begin either the campaign that came in the core box, or I just took delivery of Path of Glory. I don't have the Foundry module for that. So maybe we'll do that after we do the other, but we'll see. We'll just kind of take it by ear. We've also got some other games coming up. We're going to have another game of Vaesen coming up soon, and some Old Gods of Appalachia. We will break out the cipher system for that. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off, but I will give you the last word, Sir Cornelius.
Yes, a very thrilling adventure. I now have an oath to return and slay the basilisk. However, that will have to wait until after I have been heroic and achieved this great task of reforging this staff. But I look forward to the next adventure.
As do I. See, you didn't get the last word.